What is going on, YouTube people? Neo here. Today, just to have a little chat. I feel like if I was Rudy the Magic Guy, I'd have maybe not the tinfoil hat, but I'd be storming around an office with a cool backdrop and all that stuff. It's going to be a little chit chat video today. And what we're going to talk about is there's been all these, yesterday was the day of the news. CSG slash CGC got bought out. Goldin Auctions got bought out. Earlier this year, PSA got bought out, by Nat's team. And we keep seeing this go on and on and on. And it's clear that, big investment money is coming in to our little collectible space, whether it's sports cards or comic books. This kind of applies to everything. And I just want to kind of have a chat about that, speculate a lot. This is going to be very speculative heavy, little live in some fairy tale land. So, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff down below. Let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? So let's fast forward a few years. How many grading companies do you think exist? So where I'm going with this is, how does HGA, SGC, and the slew of all these other ones, GMA, there's a billion of them out there. How do these companies survive when you have these basically $billion investment firms throwing money around at PSA and the new CSG, CGC, whatever group, CCG, I guess, technically, to lump them all together? And these things keep getting bigger and bigger. Like, are we heading towards a Walmart situation? Walmart moves into the town on one side of the town. On the other side of the town, you have the Amazon delivery box. And in the middle, you have a wasteland of all the mom and pop stores that used to be there. And everyone either goes to the Walmart down the street, or you order it online and pick it up at the Amazon locker on the other end of town. Is that what we're heading to in the hobby? We have Nat's team on one side, the Collectors Universe team, and now we have the Born Villains on the other side, Blackstone or Blackwater or Treadstone or whatever they're called, on the other side with the CCG group. PSA now has, Nat's team has PSA. And I'm going to say Nat's team, but I know that there's a lot more to it than that. But they have PSA, they have Goldin Auctions, and they have Alt. Which I'm not super familiar with what Alt's doing, but I know a lot of people talk about them. And God knows what else they have coming down the pipe. They just bought Gemma for grading tech. And then on the other side, you have the CGC company or CCG company picking up, getting invested into and picking up a bunch of stuff there. Do they start heading down the same path? And what happens to a HGA? HGA to me, I know nothing. We're going to straight fairy tale land here. This is make believe land. I'm just rampantly speculating from basically this point on in this video. I know absolutely nothing sitting in my basement in Northeast Ohio. HGA to me just seems like a company primed to be purchased. We get out there, we have this cool AI tech, we got the fancy labels, we're the little engine that could. We got a cool little user base down here. We're the hip, trendy guys. We're going to take on the world. And I have to imagine somewhere someone's sitting and going, just waiting for the day a buyout offer comes. I have to imagine someone somewhere is snooping around SGC to purchase them. These smaller grading companies, I just don't know how they survive. I mean, I guess there's always going to be a niche market if you just want to get your cards encapsulated cheap. And you don't care about the end value, you just want your cards protected or whatever, that'll still always be there. So I shouldn't say I don't know how they survive. That's how they probably survive. But I'm more concerned about how do they survive just everyone just buying them out as these more investment level firms come into play. say the new CCG thing, they're based in Florida. What if they go, okay, CSG is doing okay. They're already falling behind. How can we bring on a bunch of new users or customers, whatever, acquire a customer base, and also expand out our grading capabilities and employees extremely quickly? Oh, this SGC company's down the road in Florida too. Oh, we'll just throw a bunch of money at them and buy them. We have $600 million or whatever the heck that 600 million is what they were valued at. And the company that invested into them is one of the biggest investment firms in the world, apparently. So they got plenty of money to spend. So what if they just go, what if we're going to Marvel Comics Town now? What if CCG bought SGC and just folded SGC into their company? And all of a sudden, SGC is now CSG. No more tuxes, just green labels from here to infinity. And they just basically turn SGC into a CSG operating platform. It would be really great for CSG. They would immediately add on a bunch of capacity. You already have a bunch of trained graders. Swap out some equipment and some PCs and slap some CSG labels on stuff, and you're off and running. Hell, they're in the same state. The interesting thought process there is, for an SGC collector, say they get bought out next week. All right. They get bought out next week by CSG. They're suddenly CSG now. SGC no longer exists because they want a unified vision, purpose, company, whatever. If you have a bunch of SGC slabs, now what happens? You thought value and liquidity was bad on them now? What if they just don't exist anymore? Sure, right now people remember who SGC is. Let's go 5 years forward. 5 years from now, you think people are going to remember who the hell SGC was? If they got bought out tomorrow? Once again, not saying it's going to happen. We're just speculating here. Same with HGA. Then on Nat's side of things, PSA, let's take a look. Let's go 5 years into the future at PSA and the collectors universe group as a whole. Okay, we got PSA, we have Goldin, we have Alt, plus whatever else that they want to buy next, because they clearly have the money to buy whatever they want. They're already setting up, and I talked about this a little bit in the video yesterday with the Goldin acquisition, where you submit the card to PSA, they grade it, and what I think will eventually happen is you will be able to send that over to Goldin, and Goldin's going to turn into a PWCC style entity where they have their own vault. You can pull things in and out of the vault, buy and sell on their specific platform, store things there, the whole 9 yards. So what if, they have that situation going and they blow it out bigger than what, PWCC has? Maybe it's, I don't know, I'm not going to sit here and say it's big enough to rival eBay, but what if they become the premier destination to buy and sell cards on? What if, let's go to real fantasy land, something I would love to see. Just think about this for a second. I'm not saying this is going to happen. Once again, we are in fantasy land here. PSA says, Star Stock, I like what you're doing. Nat goes, you know what? That Star Stock thing, that looks pretty cool. I like the concept here. PSA buys Star Stock in my fantasy land. You submit cards to them, they grade them. They're not Star Stock A's anymore or Star Stock B's. They're PSA A's or PSA B's. Basically a PSA raw card review. They're already housed within PSA. They move operations from New York, New Jersey down to PSA headquarters in Texas. Or I'm sorry, California. And here we sit. Submit them in, send your raw cards in. They grade them. You could sell them raw. Or you could just transfer them out of your PSA Star Stock vault straight to a PSA grader table. They grade them, slab them up for you. And then if you want, you can have them back to your account if it's a smaller card. Or if it's a big card, have it sent to Goldin for a Goldin auction. Premier auction house. Let me take it a step further. Star Stock does breaks now. What if this new Star Stock PSA in my fairy tale world, you went on, you entered a break for NT basketball 2024 or whatever his class would be. You pull a LeBron James Jr., a Bronny James RPA numbered to 99, or a logo man. You ripped it on a Star Stock PSA break. It's already sitting at PSA. They grade it for you. Cool. Hey, you want to send this over to Goldin for an auction? Awesome. All of a sudden, not the entire, but a large portion of the collecting industry just becomes line items on spreadsheets. You're just shuffling data around, just shuffling a line item on a spreadsheet. You had a break on Star Stock that you watched on their YouTube channel. The card never got sent home to you. It went straight to PSA for grading. From PSA, it went straight to Goldin for sale. The person on Goldin that buys it just keeps it in the Goldin vault for 5-10 years down the road when they want to resell it. All that happened with nothing actually ever getting sent anywhere from the end user's perspective. Sounds crazy, right? On one hand, it sounds like, Neo, you're nuts. You've lost your freaking mind. And on another hand, you start thinking about it and you're like, you know what? 5 years from now, maybe that's not that crazy when you start to think about it. And I'm not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just saying it could happen. Beckett. What if Beckett got bought out? Now they have a pretty big company behind them. I forget all the inner workings of all that, but you're telling me if someone, a new player wanted to come in that's not Nats Group or not the Blackstone Group comes in and they want to enter, who would you want to go for? PSA, you're not going to buy PSA, and you're clearly not going to buy CCG now. Beckett seems primed. You go in, you say, hey, I could throw a bunch of money at them, get them turned around, get new leadership in there, basically kind of like what Nat's team did with PSA, and you get the Beckett name. The Beckett name, whether you like it or not, still holds value. I don't like subbing the BGS. I wouldn't send my cards to grade there, but I sure as hell will buy BGS slabs. Absolutely. Especially at the steep discount that you get them at. You know, I linked on Twitter and social yesterday an Acuna Sapphire Rookie Chrome. PSA 10 sold for $8,000. BGS 9.5 and a True Gem Plus sold for $4,000. Half the value. It doesn't make any damn sense, but it is what it is. But imagine a new investment firm comes in. We got Blackstone over here, Nats Group over here. Now Treadstone comes in, my made-up investment firm. They want to enter the collectible space. They got a bunch of money to throw around. They go buy BGS and they go buy my slabs and something else. And then they build their little one-stop shopping conglomerate of collectible industries. It's not like, it sounds crazy, but I don't know that it's that far-fetched. And like I said, my big concern, my concern now is just spinning this stuff forward is grading with these smaller grading companies. And I'm not even talking about like the micro startup ones, like mid-size ones, like SGC and HGA. If they get bought, what happens to the slab? Now what? You know, I think that's a real concern. It's something to consider. So I don't know. What do you guys and girls think? Am I like off my rocker here? Am I that crazy? Like, is this crazy town talk? Or, you know, is this, oh, you know what? I could actually see this happening. You know, the CCG group, they seem primed for a selling platform. You know, because they have it all. They're a lot like PSA. You know, they do the coins thing, they do comic books, they do trading cards, they do non-sport trading cards. And like I said in the videos yesterday, they're the king of comic books. No one touches them when it comes to comics. CBCS tries, which is owned by Beckett, but no one really takes them too seriously. And PGX is the other comic book grader that they're the GMA of comic book grading, PGX. No one takes them seriously. So is it that absurd that, you know, they would end up purchasing some type of selling platform? Maybe they go buy My Slabs. My Slabs does comic books and cards now. And that's one-stop shopping for them. Or maybe they go buy out somebody else or come up with their own thing. Maybe they go buy Comic Link. I don't know. I don't know who the people behind Comic Link at all, but that's a major for those not in the know. Comic Link is probably the number one place to buy comic books outside of eBay. And they might even be higher than eBay. A lot of high-end stuff goes to Comic Link for auctions. But when you start throwing around the type of money that these investment firms are throwing around, it opens up a lot of doors for you really fast. A lot of companies can say they're not for sale, but if enough piles of money get stacked up in front of them, guess what? They're for sale. It's just like when you put the card in your case to go to the card show and you're like, oh, no, I'm just bringing this to show. I want way more for it. And it's something maybe rare. And someone throws a number at you that's way over comps. And now all of a sudden you're like, but this wasn't for sale. But everybody has a number. And like I said, I don't know what this means for the hobby at large going forward, all these acquisitions and buying up of things and all this nonsense that's going on right now. But um, part of it's going to be good. That's, some of it'll be good, some of it'll be bad. There's going to be things that come out of all this, whether all this fairy tale land stuff that I was talking about happens or not. There'll be some good stuff that comes out of this for the end user at some point in time. There's probably going to be some bad too. Pricing increases, this, that, or the other thing. But if the net results, faster turnaround times and a better service, but there's going to be some growing pains from to the time you get to point A to point B. We've seen it with PSA. Like, they've dumped a bunch of money in. They are trying, but it's painful getting from where they were when Nat's group took over to where they want to be. And they're not there yet, clearly. But the in-between part's going to be ugly. And then I think CCG is about to go through the same thing. Their comic, as I discussed yesterday, their comic book company, CGC, is drastically behind. There's people complaining everywhere, very similar to what PSA was like last summer. And then CSG, their trading card side, which just opened this year, is already drastically behind. So, I don't know. I'm very curious your guys' and girls' thoughts on this one. What things am I not thinking of? Like I said, this was just, off the top of my head, took the tinfoil hat off, and decided to let some thoughts flow for a while. So that's all I got for you guys today, and girls. I will be at Card Collector 2 Trade Night tonight. It is Friday night. I do not know if there will be a Saturday video. Probably, maybe not. Don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a live stream Saturday afternoon, depending on what time I get back from CC2's Trade Night. But I will be at Card Collector 2's Trade Night on Friday. Not sure what time I'm going to get there yet. Probably between 5 and 6, and I should be there most of the evening, depending on how things are going. But we are making the trip down to go do that. So if you are there, come up, say hi, chit chat. Let's do some deals. But we'll catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.